Hi, I'm Denise, and it's great to have you back at Inside the Mind Meditations for Part 27, Stage 2 on Self-Realization and Actualization, and also on Dispersing Energies. And if you're new and not able to keep up, you may wish to start at the beginning so that you can build the skills required to do not only this ever-advancing breath work that we will be doing later in this meditation, but also to understand what we are discussing today. The link to the Inside the Mind Meditations library is in the notes below the podcast. There are also many other recommended works, including the one that we will mention today, The Last Barrier by Rashid Field. And before we begin, just a reminder to not operate heavy machinery or drive while meditating. So as we begin today, you'll need a pencil and a piece of paper, this time for contemplation. You may want to pause and go get those things now. So, we should acknowledge that it's impossible for everyone to understand things in the same way, because not only are we at different levels of understanding and command of mind and self, but we are also at different levels of existence. For instance, regarding understanding, we're beginning to understand that we all start with monkey mind, which is random thought, mostly fear-based, and reacting while rarely responding to situations. Later, with much work, we move to witnessing mind, which is observing thoughts and allows command of self to a certain degree. And we find in witnessing mind that we are generally responding to situations rather than reacting. And then later, we move to motion mind, which is one conscious thought after another, allowing much command of self. And then even later, with more work, we move to mind stream, which is consciousness being aware of conscious thought and total command of self as we become masters of ourselves and thus our universe. But there are many other elements involved that if we become aware of, we are able to not only grow and expand personally, but understand self and others better. And all of this is pertinent to personal growth because it's not just about us, it's about everyone as a collective whole. So we are all going somewhere, and although we all travel the same path with the same elements, most of us at best are lost one time or another. So it's really good if we can help each other, because in helping others, we help ourselves. And thus it may be said, we search for the path, but we cannot find it, though we have been told where it is. And others who have been there can explain it, as they've been to the place of no creation and no destruction. And since they have, they can talk about it and tell others about it. But until we've been to the fortress away from creation and destruction, we are blind to it because we cannot see where we are or what we do. And even if we see, we cannot liberate anyone, only ourselves. And thus we live in the same world, doing the same things, with each of us having a different experience and different creations. And there are many reasons for that. And one is made evident of how fear dominates us and affects us in many different ways in a book called The Last Barrier by Rashid Field. And in this book, the author makes very clear how our thoughts and fears create our reality. And although we do this individually, we also do it as a collective whole in the stream of consciousness. And such as it is, we are drawn together like magnets, contingent upon many different factors. We either stick together or repel each other in our creations and our destructions. And just as we do this individually, we also do it collectively. So a small internal war can become a very large war with not just one person, but many. Or the opposite is true as well. And regardless, whatever we do, we find others who agree and do those things too. And though we all work with the same elements, we all have different creations and destructions. The lower we are in consciousness, the less able we are to understand those who are of higher vibration, and will therefore think people of higher mind mess with our heads if they are not careful to speak to us carefully and clearly. It is therefore very important to learn to command self and thought, and learn to speak in a way the person with the least ability to understand understands. The higher vibration understands this because the higher is comprised of all it was before, and so it recognizes those elements. And although the lower vibration has all the elements the higher vibration has, it is more challenging for it to understand the thoughts and musings of the higher vibration. So it sort of works like this. With your pencil now, I'd like you to draw a fairly large rectangular box on the paper now. And when you've completed that, draw 4 horizontal lines through it so that you have 5 spaces in the box. And in the bottom, or the first space, write rock. And in the second space from the bottom, write vegetative in that space. And in the third space, write animate, A-N-I-M-A-T-E. And in the fourth space, write human. And in the fifth space, write speaking. And you will recall we spoke of these 5 elements of being in podcast 24, I think it was. So rock is the basic unconscious individual who is connected and concerned only with self, and mostly its connection is a disconnection of self, so therefore it has more concern of self than any other element. And rock does not even know how to survive on their own, and rarely even understands things on a literal level of understanding because their needs are so great. Vegetative is able to survive and draw from others in receiving what it needs for survival, but gives nothing in return, not even the slightest appreciation, but does understand things literally without much confusion. Animate survives well, receives but does not bestow or recognize others. Animate only understands self at a literal level, and can be taught symbolic meanings, but really only has an academic understanding of those things. Human receives and bestows upon others and understands at a literal, symbolic, and metaphysical level, and is able to expand and grow into the mystical with some understanding, but not with experience. Speaking receives, bestows, and understands literal, symbolic, metaphysical as in a whole, and moves to the mystic level of understanding. So now we have our rectangular box drawn and understand what's in it. So I would like you now to draw a diagonal line starting with the lower left-hand corner and ending in the upper right-hand corner. And once you've done that, on the left side of the box, I would like you to write conscious. And on the right side of the box, unconscious. So as you see now at rock level 1, you will have more unconscious behavior and less conscious behavior than one would at speaking level, which has much conscious behavior and thought, while very little unconscious behavior and thought. And actually seeing this allows so much understanding. I was just blown away the first time I saw this, because I recognize the truth of it, as I'm sure you do. So this box is basically every human being who ever set foot on this planet as everyone has their box in which they rise and fall and possess all the possibilities within. Some are more conscious, while others are less, and some have very little consciousness at all. So to understand the density of vibration with your pencil, now I would like you to shade the lower part of the box a little bit more heavy, and as you move up, lessening the shading until there is no shading at all at the top. So as you see, as we rise, we become less dense, but we don't lose certain things. Rather, we gain more of the positive aspects of being and less of the not so positive elements, but we still have them. And thus it is said that the higher energy is light with very little density, while the lower energies are dark with more density. And regardless of where we are in that box, we still have the capacity of everything within that the box has in it. It is all within us. It's only that some are more capable of some things than others are. And no matter where we are able to rise up or fall down with a bit of effort, or none at all, especially if it's unconscious behavior. It's all there, nothing lost, nothing gained, for the higher we rise, we realize the less we are in many ways. While the lower we are, we think we are so much more because we are shrouded by delusion and ego. And this is why it's really impossible for everyone to see things the same way, as they will see things accordingly and only to their ability to understand at their level of existence. For one can only understand what one is able to experience, and experience what one is able to understand. And when we realize that, we are first more able to not take things personally, and secondly, we are more able and willing to let go of energies which weigh us down in the box we're in. And we also realize how important it is to talk to those of lower capacities in ways they can understand. For if you fit your box into the box of the collective whole, you become one element of the stream of consciousness there within. And when one falls, we all fall. When one rises, we all rise. And that's why we meditate. And certainly it's very relaxing, and when done properly, one is continually challenged in all of the first three bodies. So we will eventually relax in ways we never knew were possible as we rise further up. And many other things about us too will expand. So in this exercise, we understand what rock would view as comforting and possibly give rock a sense of community. Speaking would observe as pure insanity, but have compassion for. And that is what we strive for in this existence. And as we grow, not only do we realize our own insanity and rise above it, we become increasingly aware of the insanity of others, but less influenced by it. And thus our worlds begin to change on many different levels. And when our worlds change, we have the choice of creation or destruction, but still are more prone to creation rather than destruction, because we realize there is no power in destruction. Command ourselves, and there is no need to force our will upon others, as those who understand will collect, just as those who don't will not. They will slip away, and we will divide like oil and water, but coexist alongside each other. So it's very important to command self just now. Very much worth the effort if one seeks peace. So to begin our meditation, if you are not already, please lie flat on your back with your spine straight, hands beside your hips with your palms turned up, and allow your eyes to rest comfortably as you settle in and make any last-minute adjustments for physical comfort. And now become aware of your points of contact. And now your body as a whole. And once settled, allow your mind to wander. Observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment while remaining aware of the body. And notice the thoughts and feelings that come and go, and observe how these thoughts and feelings feel in the body. Pleasant, not pleasant, or neutral. And as you notice how these thoughts and feelings feel in the body, become aware of where they are attached to. And if a particular thought or feeling persists, label it with one word and then determine if it is a shared or unique experience, and return the focus to the overview of the body while allowing the mind to wander. And as you notice the energy these thoughts and feelings create within the body, also notice the areas of the body that are in complete comfort and not attached to any thought, feeling, or emotion. And opening your eyes softly, return your focus to your surrounding. And look around the room so that you become entirely aware of your space. And notice the objects within. And any sounds. And as you become aware of your surroundings, begin deep circular breathing at 100% capacity for 10 breaths, with each inhale counting as one, and each exhale counting as the second breath, and so on until you reach 10, and begin again. Inhale through the nose, filling the entire stomach, and then expand the breath into the chest, counting the inhale as one breath. And exhale through the mouth, allowing the body to collapse as the breath leaves the body as a second breath, and so on until 10. And as you do this breath work, try to keep the inhale equal to the exhale. And with the next breath, allow your breath to return to normal. And place your hands comfortably on the pelvis with your palms resting flat, while your forefingers barely touch the tips of each other on the side, so that your thumbs touch as well without any effort or even the slightest tension to maintain this mudra. And now close your eyes and look up and out through the third eye, activating the pituitary gland by crossing the eyes so that you can see out into the distance very comfortably. And allow the body to breathe naturally while remaining aware of the body and breath, but comfortably retaining focus on the third eye. And while keeping focus on the third eye, become aware of the energetic field of the body. And now, while lying on your back, let's activate our chi by rubbing the palms of our hands together at the same time that we rub the soles of our feet together, creating enough heat to activate all 2,000 nerve endings throughout the entire body. And having done that, please sit with the spine straight and move into prayer pose with 5 pounds of pressure as you press the palms of your hands together, and another 5 as you press the sides of your thumbs into the breastbone, fingers together and angled out from the body at 60 degrees. And activate your thyroid now by closing your eyes 9/10 of the way and staring at the tip of your nose, again crossing your eyes. And now we will tune in with the divine wisdom mantra. Om Namo Guray Namo. Om Namo Guray Namo. Om Namo Guray Namo. And while still in prayer pose, and while still activating the thyroid, set your intention through great sincere feeling from the heart. And as you set your intention, I want you to feel all the love you have in your heart for those you ask for and also for yourself. And begin with, I ask whatever it is I ask for myself and for whomever else, and also for the entire universe. And then feel your intention deeply within your heart. And staying in prayer pose while keeping the thyroid activated, let's let's begin our intention. And now, while still in prayer pose and keeping the thyroid activated, let's conclude with the protection prayer, which is always wise as we further meditation. Nameh, 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 Cidy, Daveigh, Nameh. Nameh, 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 Cidy, Daveigh, Nameh. Nameh, 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 Cidy, Daveigh, Nameh. And now give great gratitude through great feeling from the heart. And while still holding that gratitude in your heart, lay down again with your spine straight and feel the body settle in while placing your hands in a comfortable position where you can most comfortably feel the rise and fall of the breath. And moving to 70% capacity, let's begin internal breathing. And please softly close your eyes and place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth at the hard palate located right behind the teeth in a very relaxed manner, and relax all the muscles in your face. And starting with at least 2 breaths for each stage of awareness, begin by feeling the breath as though it moves through a tube through the center of the body, starting by becoming aware of the first stage of breath as the breath moves from the tip of the nose, over the nose hairs, and through the nose, and then again as the breath passes out through the nose. And becoming progressively aware of the breath in stages, follow the breath from your nose to the back of the throat, and then out again. And now follow the breath from the tip of the nose to the back of the throat and into the lungs without expanding the chest, and keeping the breath at 70%. And following the same flow from the tip of the nose to the throat to the lungs, follow the breath now into the solar plexus. And this time follow the breath from the tip of the nose, through the nose, to the back of the throat, the lungs, solar plexus, and into the navel, and out again through the nose. And following the breath from the tip of the nose, throat, lungs, solar plexus, navel, follow the breath now into the second chakra, located between the navel and the crest of the pelvis. And continue breathing in and out with the tip of the tongue on the hard palate, face relaxed, inhaling through the nose at 70%, and following the breath through the body to the second chakra, and then exhale through the nose at 70%. And do this for 10 breaths, with each inhale and each exhale counting as one full breath. And when you have reached 10 full breaths, begin again. And staying relaxed with this tongue in position, we will now begin tri-breath at 70% for each 3 breaths, counting as 1. Count inhale, exhale, inhale as the first breath. Exhale, inhale, exhale as the second breath. And so on until you reach 10 and then begin again. However, if you lose count with the dry breath, begin again at 1. And now move to quad breath for 4 breaths as 1 and continue at 70% with each set of 2 inhales and exhales counting as 1, the next set as 2, so it is like inhale, exhale as first breath, and the same for the second, and so on until you reach 10 and then begin again. And if you lose count, start again at 1. At some point, you'll be able to count all these breaths with one single number and no effort. And as you do, you'll notice you become more aware and more able to handle situations. And until then, do what you can now in whatever way you can, and know you are doing a wonderful job. And now, while keeping the face and body relaxed with the tip of the tongue on the hard palate, move to 5 breaths or 5 breaths as 1 and continue at 70% capacity with inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale as first breath, and exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale as second breath, and so on until you reach 10. And it's easier if you realize odd numbers begin and end with an inhale, while even numbers begin and end with an exhale. And if you lose count, begin again at 1 until you reach 10. And then return to soft breath, where there is no gap between the inhale and exhale, but no effort to maintain any capacity. And regardless of where you are, with next breath, move into natural breath. Breathe in and out through the nose, placing your hands over the pelvic region or on the belly, wherever you can most comfortably feel the rise and fall of the breath. And turn your attention to the body, or without judgment, observe. Does the body feel heavy or light, tense or at ease? And feel the weight of the body as it sinks onto the surface you are lying on, observing the points of contact for the head, shoulders, back, hips, arms and hands, legs and feet. And feel the body settle in comfortably, noticing the breath has returned to normal. And now turn attention to the body, letting the points that want attention guide you. Notice areas of discomfort as you feel the body from deeply within as a whole. And if there are no areas of discomfort, simply stay focused on the feeling at the core of the body until you can feel that's energy filled. And don't worry if you cannot feel this energy yet. It will come with time and no expectation. It sometimes arises through deep internal feeling. If you notice a frozen area, then move into dissolving and dispersing the area. And as you notice the areas of discomfort in the body, realize they are just frozen energy manifesting in form within the body. And focus on these areas through feeling. Do not visualize them, simply feel them. And as you feel them, stay focused on the areas until they melt from the outside in as ice does when it turns to water. And as you feel the frozen energy turn to water, Allow yourself to feel the water heat begin to sizzle, boil, and turn to steam. And do this through feeling. Do not visualize it. And stay focused on the feeling as the steam leaves the body and moves 2 feet out and away from the body where it can dissipate. And if one area calls for attention most, give your attention to that area and then move to each area that calls for attention next. And if there are no areas of physical tension within the body, then allow that to happen with any negative thoughts or feelings you hold as well. Feel where they are attached to the body and allow them to melt as ice would from the outside in. Turn to water, sizzle, boil, turn to steam, dissipate, and leave the body. And if you find nothing to work on, just stay focused on the body and the energy field of the body, and feel it expand fully above, below, and out to all sides of you. Anywhere from 2 to 10 feet, whatever you can feel, feel it. And do not force it or visualize it. Just become aware of it. And do not worry for drifting off, as much if not more happens in space than it does in solidity. However, when you become aware that you have drifted off, return your focus to the body. And work with interruptions as they come. Feel where they are attached to, and melt and dissipate that energy as you become aware of it. And as you work, become aware of the balance of the third eye, breath, and body, and allow the frozen energies to disperse, while feeling your energy field expand. Make sure the head is straight and not turned slightly to one side or the other. Let's do a full body scan now through feeling deeply within but without visualization. Start the scan as we've learned, just making note now, comfort or discomfort. And starting from the top of the head, scan deeply within. And now the eyes and brow line and ears. Nose, cheeks, feeling all the way to the inside of the face, mouth and jaw, neck, shoulders, front and back, upper arms to elbows, lower arms to wrists, hands and fingers, top of the chest, front and back, midsection, tummy and hips, legs to knees, lower legs to ankles, feet and toes. And if you were not finished dispersing energies, stay with them and disperse them now. Otherwise, while keeping focus on the natural breath and remaining aware of the body and the third eye, please allow the mind its freedom to do as it will. Simply observe it. And remember your paramita in active living. Get into the body when you first wake up, and then your space before rising. Be aware of challenging situations before you move into them. Practice paramita on both challenging people and those you love, and also with yourself. And remember, as you observe yourself and others without judgment, to recognize thoughts or feelings, pleasant, not pleasant, or neutral. Label reoccurring thoughts with one word and note if they are a shared or unique experience. And at the end of the day, do a quick overview to see how well you did. And now you may choose to go to sleep or be on with your day. And if you wish to go to sleep, if you are able, please comfortably turn your head or body to the right and drift off to the sound of my voice after giving gratitude for the day, tomorrow, and all week long. And if you wish to rise, please turn your head or body to the left and become aware of your body, your fingers and toes, hands and feet, arms and legs, tummy and torso, shoulders, back, neck, face and head. And finally, your body as a whole. And observe, does the body feel heavy or light, tense or at ease? And now recognize your points of contact. And become aware of the sounds around you. And open your eyes and become aware of your surroundings, the things you see and hear. And after giving gratitude for the day, tomorrow, and all week long, while holding the feeling of joy in your heart, you may rise when you are ready. And it's great to have you with us again. And if you're able to keep up and fully experience this meditation, please move forward. Otherwise, drop back to the beginning podcast and gain the experience through experience. And keep in mind, every Thursday or Friday we post a new meditation. And check back with us, or feel free to subscribe to our channel. As well, your comments are always appreciated. And check out our suggested links and like our Facebook page, which we'd love to link for you in. If you have any questions that you prefer not public, you can either message us through subscribing with us or through the Facebook page. So good day or night, and we hope to see you again soon. And thank you for being here.